players were back on board with the circuit here at Pyra. Here's the race leaders. Oh, there are all sorts of problems.
Oh, big carnage. Oh, straight to the barriers. And through the smoke we come.
What a crash! Oh, crash!
It's 2007 and the iPhone is launched. More importantly, a group of Kiwis led by Warwick Lupton go to Oz to take back one of the oldest trophies in motorsport, the EC Griffiths Cup.
Kilometres up the Hume Highway from Melbourne is the holiday town of Yarrawonga, situated on the first dam on the mighty Murray River. Every year, thousands of people gather on the shores of the lake to watch some of Australasia's fastest boats race for the EC Griffith Cup. For 3 years, the annihilated GP hydroplane team from New Zealand has been waging a campaign to bring the prestigious Griffith Cup back to New Zealand, led by longtime racer Warwick Lupton.
Well, it's one of the greatest motorsport trophies, I think, in the Southern Hemisphere, to be honest. It's been going since 1912. It's one of the oldest ones, certainly. And anyone in the water sport or powerboat racing, if you've won the Griffiths Cup, you're someone and you're something, really, at the end of the day. And New Zealanders always love to beat Australians, vice versa. And it's one trophy that designates who's the best in Australasia on water, who's the fastest, who runs the best team, has the best deal. So if you've won that, you're pretty much on top of the game.
It's just quite a big effort to come over here, just even to get the boats on the wharfs and off the wharfs and all that. It's just ongoing drama, really. Like even yesterday when we're towing them up here, one of the trucks blew up, and it's just so hard to come over here and win it. It's just all that stuff there just takes so much time, and with everything, all the rules and politics, it's just sort of drives you a bit mad, really. But sort of that's why it's so hard to win, I guess.
That's sort of the main cup that I'd want to win, basically. It's the oldest motorsport trophy in the Southern Hemisphere, and it's a huge rival between New Zealand and Australia, and you know, any rivalry between us, New Zealand and Australia, it's always good to win. And to win that, I'd sort of like the All Blacks beating the Aussies, you'd say. That's sort of the way we look at it, and we'll go to all lengths to win it. Don't worry about that.
For these guys, it's a real family affair. Warwick and son Ken and cousin David Alexander all race GP hydroplanes under the Annihilator banner.
We enjoy it, the kids go away with us, so it's a real family weekend as well, even though we're quite serious, but we do turn it into a bit of a holiday, and you know, everyone tips in, like the girls make the sandwiches and all this sort of stuff, and make sure all our clothes are ironed, and we've got all our mess tidy up and the overalls all together, so everyone's got their little bit, and yeah, it works well, you know. It's really, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's good to sort of get away with everyone, and everyone gets on pretty well, you know, all the crews and everything, so it's good. We have a pretty good time. We sort of enjoy ourselves.
We're all pretty keen. Like the old man, he's been in it for years, and he's been successful a couple of times, and I've come along, and I've got a few of his good bits now, and you know, we've sort of stepped everything up a bit more on my boat, and he's put a lot of time into my boat now too. We've sort of concentrated on my boat a bit together, and we've stepped it up that next step, and it's all what comes out of it. And we work as a team, man, though, man. Like we work together. You know, all the family gets behind us. They just love it, and I'm pretty sure they'll be happy to see us bring something back.
A GP hydroplane is built with one thing in mind: speed on the water.
The Grand Prix hydroplane's a maximum length of 26 foot, about 12 foot wide, I think it is, and it's got to weigh over 1,000 kilos, 1,050 kilos to be in the minimum weight. Like, it's a supercharged engine, fuel injected, 1,800 horsepower, probably burning up 8 gallons a minute of methanol when they get on the gas. They only turn left, you know, they've got a turn fin on the side, not too much different to a sprint car, how they set them up, and that's probably pretty much basically it. Acceleration on water is unbelievable. You just can't believe how quick that thing can get up to speed. There's no buzz like it. That's probably why we keep going back. You come into the line, the start boat's doing 65 mile an hour. They get onto the course has got an 800 metre straight in the first straight. When they drop that flag, probably half straight, you're doing 160, 170 mile an hour and it's floating, you've got your foot half on the gas and it's running 82, 8600 revs, you know what I mean? And just hanging there in the air. And you know, you give it a bit of power, it comes down, you let her off and it floats up. It's just like a plane really, you know, it's it's an amazing feeling. And then you're pitching in that turn, you think, geez, you know, you don't think it'd even go around there, but it just, does something else to drive.
With over 2 decades of racing under his belt, Warwick has won every major title and is the current world GP hydroplane champion.
We originally bought a flat bottom race boat to go water skiing because we have a lake on the farm. We're pretty keen on water skiing, so we bought one of those old wooden hulls. And the old guy that sold it to me convinced me to go to a race meeting. That was 23 years ago. I probably haven't missed many since then, to be honest. The first race meeting I went to was Whanganui River, and I was actually winning the first race I was in. I was looking back and I tipped over in the first turn and sunk it. So I thought, well, I better go back and show them how I could drive a boat. So we ended up going back, and addiction's probably the easy answer, isn't it?
David Alexander has been racing GP hydroplanes for 5 years, and with the new New Zealand GP title, the A.E. Baker and the Massport Cup in the trophy cabinet, this has been his best season yet. His 5-year commitment paying dividends in the cockpit.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. You've got quite a bit more time than you think. You're sort of thinking all the time of looking around and where to go and sort of trying to read the water more than anything for holes and wind gusts and all that kind of thing. So yeah, it's pretty, when you're up there though and you're having a good race with someone, you can't really beat it, like side by side, and you have water everywhere, and it's pretty awesome. I've never really gone that good in Australia. Always have something going wrong and bits and pieces, and had a lot of accidents in that boat as well. And this is the first time we've probably come over here and everything's like 100% really. Like we've usually always got some little thing we're trying, like maybe it be a rudder or a turn fin's not right, and just to get everything right takes so much time, and you never get really the testing time over here to get things right, so it's sort of a bit hit and miss. And we've got a pretty strong engine this year. We changed the combination of that from the last few seasons and seems to be making a huge difference. We've got sort of plenty of power to burn really, and we also upgraded all the drive lines, so we strengthened that as well. So yeah, we've got a pretty good package really for that boat, for the age of it, because the boat's about 25 years old nearly, I think.
Ken Lupton has grown up around GP hydroplane racing, and over the last 4 years has been 2 times New Zealand champion and placed second in the Griffith Cup in 2005.
I've been around it all my life, ever since I was a young fella, and the last 10, 15 years I've been involved with the old man's boat, which is David Alexander's boat now, before he built his new one. So I've got a little bit of knowledge about them. Done a lot of things on water and on land, and nothing compares with them. Nothing's just, don't get the buzz out of anything else. It's the biggest buzz I've ever had, really.
To get serious speed, you need serious horsepower, and the man charged with that task is engine builder Grant Rivers.
Yeah, 1993 we started, I started, so yeah, 14 years, 14th season, so yeah, it's been interesting. It's a bit of a battle out there, but we're going to have a good crack at it. We put our best foot forward, and we've got 3 boats, and we've put the best stuff in we had before we left home. We don't come here for a cup of tea and a cucumber sandwich as it is, you know. Yeah, these are serious engines, you know, the top of the line in alcohol, same as in an alcohol funny car, drag car, but we just tame them down a bit to make them reliable, make them consistent.
The Griffith Cup is raced over 3 heats, with the top qualifiers from each heat going through to a winner-takes-all final. Any type of racing boat can compete. There are no restrictions on the boats. It's basically the fastest boat on the day wins the trophy. With 1,500 horsepower and a top speed of 300 kilometres an hour, the Annihilator GP hydroplanes have the ability to blow the competition away. But with such awesome power and speed, reliability can become an issue.
Those things are revving. They're a big block, doing 8,600 down every straight. Supercharged engine. They're a detuned drag car engine that they only run for 6 seconds. And we're trying really to get half an hour of this engine with practice and the racing we'll do over the weekend, because we do have other races after that. So it's a huge challenge. Like Grant Rivers, you know, the mechanic, he's got his work cut out really at the end of the day. And we're going out there, it's going to break it or we're going to win it. That's the way we're looking at it.
You know, come across the seas to get the boats here, and it's a whole different ball game. Boats going well in New Zealand, come over here, could be going bad. Boats going bad over there, come over here, and all of a sudden your luck changes and you're going good. And to tell the truth, I've been having a shocker this last season. Like, nothing's been going right. We had little problems, been causing us a lot of hassle and wrecking a bit of gear basically. And this new package we've got, I'm crossing my fingers, hope it's going to work, and we'll find out tomorrow what it's capable of, I suppose.
In 2005, the Annihilator team made the 11,500 kilometre journey to Yarrawonga for the Griffith Cup. Warwick Lupton was leading the final race, starting the last lap with the trophy in his sights. A mechanical failure cost him the title.
We were running in front and you lose a blow belt, little thing like that, and it's all over, you know, and Ken was only a gnat's away from taking it out, just that other boat was in front of him. It's it did gut you, but, you know, I get over it pretty quick because, you know, I expect that, like, tomorrow I'm going to go out there and I'm going to have a decent crack at this job, and what happens, happens.
And when he did break, I drove everything I had, just drove the living thing out of it as hard as I could, and it was just so close, you know. I pulled half a straight in on him, and just right at the end of the line, you know, it was just within 3 or 4 boat lengths and he beat me, you know. It's one of those things, it's a mistake I won't make again. Definitely.
In 2006, the team returned in search of Griffith Cup glory. Warwick had easily the fastest boat and set the quickest lap time in qualifying. He was then disqualified after a controversial start in his heat. Officials claimed he was in front of the start boat and put him out of the final, but video evidence suggests otherwise.
I think once we got that fastest lap, they thought, well, hey, we're going to lose the silverware out of the cupboard and it might be hard to get back. So I think they went to alternative method to do it, but probably saying this, I'll get into trouble, but that's our personal feeling.
Officials this year have added a new twist to the EC Griffith Cup. The competitors will have to do a hot lap to determine heat and grid positions. The lake is choppy, not ideal for hydroplanes, and after some tense discussions about safety, the hot laps begin. First up, it's Kiwi David Alexander in Annihilator 2, the current New Zealand GP champ and the AE Baker winner. He's had a great season in New Zealand. You can see how rough the conditions are here on the lake, on board with Alexander. Alexander sets a time of 44.1.
Pretty rough out there, all right, pretty big waves and rollers down that top turn especially, and yeah, no, the boat's all good, no problems there by the look of it, but just pretty hard on the gear though. You want to be pretty careful out there to break something in practice before we even get to a heat, which wouldn't be that good an idea.
The second of the Team Annihilator boats out on course. It's Warwick Lupton in Annihilator 1. 1,500 horsepower at his disposal. Legend of New Zealand GP hydroplanes. On board there with Lupton, 42.7.
Oh, it's pretty rough out there, yeah, quite ugly water, but it's the same for everyone, so we've just got to get out there and do it by the look of it.
So Warwick Lupton's the quickest at the moment with a 42.7 in hot laps. This is Ken Lupton now out there in Annihilator 3. Big horsepower gain for young Ken this year with his New Zealand campaign. Round the course in these choppy conditions on board with Ken Lupton. Just struggling a little bit, his quickest time of 48.10.
Down this front straight, it's not too bad, it's pretty sheltered, but coming down that back straight, it's there's these rollers out there, white caps, and sort of leaping off. If you've got a bit of speed up, you sort of leap off the top of them, but when you're going a bit slow, you're sort of pounding through them. It's not that pleasant to ride in the cockpit, but you know, it comes to race condition, we haven't got much choice. I suppose if the Australians are going out, then I'll be definitely out there. There's no two ways about it.
Following day dawns fine. The wind has dropped and the stage is set. It's 2007 and the Annihilator team is more determined than ever to get their hands on the EC Griffith Cup.
I think we're prepared to go home with the trailer if we have to. So we are going to give it our best shot. We're seriously here, you know, and reasonably well hurt from last year, so we will be taking no prisoners.
It's on, all right. There's no doubt about it. It's all on. We're not come here to lose, but you know, there's good boats out there, and they're all just as good as each other, and it depends what it comes down to, you know. Boat's going to keep going, or maybe they have a bit more speed than us, you never know. But we've definitely come here with sort of the gear if we can do it. We've got the gear here, hopefully.
With the boats ready and hot laps on yesterday's rough lake behind them, the team is ready, but the news is not all good, however.
We did the fastest hot lap. I was just over 42 seconds, and Bobby Fisher was third, Warlord was fourth, I think David was fifth, so yeah. But we all ended up in the same heat, the three of us, which is unusual, but so we've got to qualify all together, so we'll see how we go. Well, we actually found a problem yesterday just in the filters in between the screens, and it has been dogging us a bit lately, and we ran it a bit lean yesterday just purely because the filter couldn't sieve the actual methanol through, and yeah, we stretched a couple of valves, but we've loosened them off and we can only hope we can make the grade, but yeah, just bloody unlucky, but that's life.
The boats draw a marble for which of the three heats they start in, and luck is with the Kiwis as all three Annihilator boats are in the first heat. This should give the team a chance to pace themselves. They will need to go quick enough to qualify for the final, which is decided on heat times. But at the same time, they need to make sure that all three boats are in the best possible condition for the all-important Griffith Cup final. As the race takes shape, the team is looking good. All three boats appear to be running strongly, and hopes are high that all three will qualify without drama. After a huge battle in the opening laps between Warwick driving Annihilator 1 and David driving Annihilator 2, common sense prevailed. The water was still rough and it was best to ease back just enough to qualify and conserve the boats. With the Kiwis running first, second and third in the heat, things were looking promising for a start for all three in the EC Griffith Cup final, up against the three top Aussies. The teams will only have 45 minutes to prepare the boats between the end of the heat and the start of the main race. If something major has broken, the teams will be up against it to make any repairs in time. This is a graphic illustration of what 150 miles per hour or 240 kilometres per hour looks like on board with Warwick Lupton, with David Alexander not too far behind. At the end of Heat 1, it was a fantastic result for the Annihilator team, with Warwick first, David second and Ken in third. Is it enough to make the final? As the boats are lifted from the water, the results are in and the news is good.
Yay!
Oh well, we've got three boats in it, so we've just got to go out and give it our best shot, I suppose.
With three boats in the six-boat final, this could be the climax of what has been for the Annihilator boys a 3-year campaign to retake the EC Griffith Cup. But it won't be easy, there's some tough competition. It's an all-hydroplane final and the red-hot Australian entry Warlord has pole.
Oh well, we've got to get a good start and really make a bonzer of the first lap. If we don't do that, I'd say we've got an issue, you know. Big boat, plenty of sponson area. It's going to be tough, there'll be no ways about it, but you know, we haven't given up yet, that's for sure, mate. We're here to have a crack and we're going to throw everything at it and see how we go.
I think I've got to get out in front of them. I've got to get into that corner first and sort of get around the same time as them. Since I'm on the outside, I've got to do twice as hard as work to catch up to them, so I need to be at that corner first or coming out of that corner as fast as I can if possible.
It suits Warlord, the water conditions out there, being a bigger boat and everything, but yeah, we might have more straightaway speed than them, so if we can keep him in there tight and try and drive around the outside of him, but it'll be a mission, but who knows, he might stop or we might stop, or anything's happened, you've got to finish to win too.
As the boats get a final check over, the drivers take a moment to focus their minds on the task at hand. Six boats lined up for the start for the EC Griffith Cup for 2007. Down the middle, it is David Alexander that looks like he's got the start. Kenny Lupton on the outside with a great run off the start. Wasp at the back of this group. Bobby Fisher looks like he's got problems there. Look at the wash of water up over the front. That's on board with Warwick Lupton, and he got swamped by Warlord on the inside and David Alexander on the outside. Alexander into the early lead for the Kiwis. Annihilator 2 streaking down the back straight, chased by Warlord, driven by Brett Nidri. So David Alexander working in the choppy conditions, much better conditions than yesterday. That was Kenny Lupton with the big wide line on the outside of the course, the end of lap number 1. David Alexander looking for his first EC Griffith Cup win. On board with David Alexander, hard at work with 1,500 horsepower in behind him. Warlord with a great run off the inside, pretty much side by side down the back straight. Brett Nidri wasn't scheduled to drive this boat. The boat's owner had some health issues. Brett actually builds the boat's engines. He is a former winner of the EC Griffiths Cup back in 1999, driving Radical Rat. Big wide line there by David Alexander. Warlord might have the run here. They're going to go side by side down the front straight, side by side at over 240 kilometres per hour. Warlord takes over the lead, and there's not much of the boat in the water at the moment as they head down to the buoy turn at the far end of the course. Back on board with Warwick Lupton, and he's struggling here. They've been struggling with fuel-related issues all throughout the day and dropping cylinders with valve problems. As we go back to the front, David Alexander getting a bit of air underneath the boat in the choppy conditions, and Warlord extending this lead now. The 2007 EC Griffiths Cup. Look at the conditions that Warlord has to contend with. Bobby Fisher out there on the course, as well as Wasp struggling with engine problems. And GP55, Paul Cutting, the defending EC Griffiths Cup champ, he's struggling out there as well. Warwick Lupton, third on the race course. That was Ken Lupton down the inside, just back and forth as we go on board with Warwick Lupton and Annihilator 1. So it was David Alexander out to the early lead before he was passed on the second lap by Brett Nidri here in GP3. Warlord, New Zealand built boat, and he's coming down to the line to take out the EC Griffiths Cup. Now look who's second, it's Ken Lupton. So we've lost Alexander and Warwick Lupton, and Ken Lupton struggling with all sorts of damage to the back of the boat. You can see most of the rear wing missing off Annihilator 3, but the Aussies defend the 2007 EC Griffiths Cup. So after a strong start for the Kiwis, the Aussies take it out with Brett Nidri driving Warlord, Ken Lupton with an outstanding result in second, David Alexander third. Victory goes to Warlord, and the EC Griffith Cup stays in Australia for another year. Team Annihilator is left to think of what could have been, and their boat shows signs of a battle lost.
No, I've lost the back end of my boat by the looks of things, and managed just to limp across the finish line.
Well, we held Warlord out there for the first couple of laps, I think, and then obviously hold the belly pan by the look of it and filled up with water. I come out of one corner and the boat just sort of sunk onto the water and wouldn't get off it and started losing speed badly, and it's obviously due to having a few hundred litres of water on board, and yeah, obviously wasn't handling it all well at that stage, and yeah, he shot past and won obviously at the moment by the look of it.
Yeah, I think we'll be back again. It's awesome effort, like David. Unbelievable drive, those 2 laps, and then broke his belly pan and filled up with water, and that was the end of him, which is really unfortunate. We thought he was a strong one of the lot of us, and he's proved that all season. And we're sort of down to that 7-cylinder mark, and when they dropped the flag, stood on it, they just left me standing there. There was nothing, like it was just, and David shut the door, which he should do and get on with the job. And as far as Ken's go, well, he put a huge drive in too, but there's a fair chunk of his boat missing. But they really went well. Just, that's racing, mate, and they gave it their best shot, and they did a really good job. I'm really proud of the whole team.
Now it's a quick trip forward to Boxing Day 2008 and the Whanganui Cemetery Circuit bike racing. One of the oldest bike racing events in the world and still going strong.
For 57 years, the busiest day for Whanganui has been Boxing Day. That's the day the motorbikes come to town. Add in the startling weather and record crowds, and you've a recipe for a day of excitement. Now part of a new tri-series of events, the Cemetery Circuit for 2008 attracted a record 250 entries over 8 classes. One of the most popular classes at the Cemetery Circuit are the super motards, based loosely on motocross machinery. This year's field would be led by Tokoroa's LA-based Daryl Atkins, rumoured to be having his last competitive ride on his factory Aprilia.
It's going to be my final race.
Final race?
Yeah, final race. I run the factory Aprilia Supermoto team and raced in it for the last 3 years in America. And we won a couple of championships. I won a team championship with my teammate. Then I got twice second, just literally down to the final corner or the last point. So, you know, I've achieved what I wanted to. Maybe it's not on paper, but in my heart I've done what I did, and I was the best this year. So I'm content with that, and I want to come here and show to everybody what I've learned and put on a good show and then call it a day.
Well, we've got a big crowd here at Whanganui. Welcome along to Cemetery Circuit 2008, brought to you by Suzuki New Zealand. This is Super Motards, and we've got a ring in from the United States of America, but he is a Kiwi, and that is young Daryl Atkins, and he's gone into the first turn in the number 1 spot. Joining me in commentary is a man that has been on the scene since the start of Super Motard in New Zealand, works for Kiwi Rider, and that is Todd Sutherland. Todd, Daryl Atkins was always going to be fast around here.
Yeah, he's world class, Daryl Atkins. Just missed out on the championship in the States, and he's come over here to show us how it's done. It's fantastic.
Well, some problems here right in the first lap for Hannon Thompson from Whanganui. Meantime, we go back to the front of the field, and this is the style of Daryl Atkins. Now, Todd mentioned it before, a champion in junior motocross in New Zealand, a champion supercross rider, went to Europe to find his fortune and fame on the world motocross circuits, but unfortunately, a crash leading up to a race in Europe halted his career. In fact, it came so close to holding his life, but Daryl on the comeback and has found a home in AMA Super Motard. You're on board here with Toby Summers, the Go Fast Films, Bike Talk Yamaha, YZ450, down the short chute and into the Taupo Key. Now, strangely enough, Todd, these bikes look fast, and I can tell you they are fast because they're lapping at around about the times, not too far away from the times of Andrew Stroud and his Superbike.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? That the confines of Whanganui really lend themselves to these dirt bike guys and getting out there with the road wheels on. So it's great to see.
Look at this. This is the onboard shot from Toby Summers through the Robert Holden turn now. Up the Whanganui Steel Formers straight, down into total span, down through the gearbox, a couple of gears, down past the Dog Pound to Stonewood Homes corner, then heading for the Vesra Bridge, back on board from the outboard shot. And have a look for number 427, and that is Casey Bullock from Rotorua. Did great things in the lead-up event to this race in Manfield just a week ago, and Stephen Briggs in there as well. Now, 2 years ago, you would have said Briggs would be at the front of the field. He's got a new bike, and he hasn't quite come to grips with it yet, and he's fighting a bit of a rearguard action here.
Yeah, he's on a 450 this year. He used to have the big LC4 there, and along with Toby, they're on 450s. I don't think Stephen's been doing so much riding of late, but he's always spectacular to watch.
John O'Hamlin doing a good job too, moving up into third place. There is Summers, he's in second. Then it's Briggs, then it's Hamlin. There is number 427. We mentioned him before, Casey Bullock from Rotorua on the Promoto-sponsored KTM. But out in the front is young Daryl Atkins. Went by the nickname of Jimmy in his junior days. Proud father Robin watching the action here. And what action we've got. Super Motard really did come of age a couple of years ago here at Whanganui. And then last year, of course, we had the history-making occasion of a dirt section. This year, they haven't got the dirt section, but we've still got the spectacular racing. And what racing it is. Bullock's really got to look to his laurels here.
It's fantastic, isn't it? We get these huge fields, probably the biggest fields that are running today, and all these dirt bike guys come out of nowhere that nobody's even heard of. And they get out there and they have a ball.
Well, they really do. This is Dino Hamlin. He's got in front of Stephen Briggs. This is a battle for third and fourth. Up the road is this man, 777, Toby Summers. But further up the road is Daryl Atkins.
I think Daryl's pretty much checked out. It's amazing, really, because Toby's really been the class act for the last few years, and And Daryl, well, he looks like he's gone.
Well, that's right. Daryl Atkins, rumoured to be riding a Aprilia factory machine, rumoured to be worth something like $100,000. You're on board here with basically a production bike. This is Toby Summers as he heads up over the Vesra Bridge and down the DML Builders Straight. This is the front straight at Whanganui, and look at the crowd. They're 3 and 4 deep down the front straight here. It's a beautiful day in Whanganui. It's a great day to be watching motorcycle racing, and they've been doing it here for the best part of 57 years.
Look at that style, hanging it out. I think that's what gets him up to the fences, Phil. It's a spectacular to watch. I mean, he's really wringing the neck of this thing. It's a 450. A few of the other guys have got bigger things. Daryl's actually got a 550 twin-cylinder machine there, but it's all good stuff.
Well, if you ever wanted to experience the cemetery circuit here at Whanganui, you've got your chances. We're on board with Toby Summers, the Bike Talk Go Fast Films Yamaha YZ450. There is the race leader in his resplendent Aprilia blue and white uniform. He had such a good season in the United States of America this past year. Only a puncture stopped him. Checkered flag, nothing's going to stop him at Whanganui. And Daryl Atkins draws first blood at the cemetery circuit. Second place is Toby Summers, and in third, a great race from John O'Hamlin. Fourth is Stephen Briggs, and in fifth, it's Rotorua's Casey Bullock.
It's definitely the fastest supermoto road race track I've ever ridden. I've never ridden a road bike and only ever got to ride on the asphalt with the supermoto bikes, and this is by far the fastest I've ridden on.
Adding weight to the always popular sidecars, Australian Stacey Sellers had come out of an early retirement to again push the locals in this spectacular class.
I had a good practice beforehand, and now I've just got the hang of the track and got a bit of advice from Stacey and Brett, and really good advice, and I've listened to them, and we did really well, eh?
I think we did,
wrapped.
yeah. I think we should have a pole after that, but yeah, a lot of other boys are going very quick, so it's going to be a lot, not too much in it, and I think, yeah, for spectator point of view, just watch out.
Well, this is race 2 for the sidecars, and watch for the start for Stacey Seller and Louise Blythe. That's them down on the inside, but a good start too for Steve Braun and Dennis Simonson. Now I'm joined by the organiser here at Whanganui, the promoter if you like, and a man that knows all about sidecars, and that's Leighton Manel. Leighton, you've swung with Stacey, to put it, I guess, a proper way, and you know what all this is about.
Yes, Phil, dead right, mate. We had a bit of a play out there last year, and we started off really good, but she all ended in tears in the last race. But hey, we're back here. I'm talking behind the mic, feeling a lot safer this year. So we'll let you run us through it.
Well, that's right. You're probably notorious for the fact that you parted company to this part of the racetrack we're coming up to now, which is the Vesra Bridge.
Dead right, mate. Just outside the old morgue, to be honest. But hey, we are coming around here.
Have a look at this picture-in-picture here at Whanganui, a new innovation for 2008. Here is Stacey Seller and Louise Blythe. They're a race leader. You're on board here with Steve Braun and Dennis Simonson. And look how busy Dennis Simonson is as the swinger. Leighton, explain that to us, because it's a real physical beating for the swinger, isn't it?
It is, Phil. Yeah, on the back here, the G's that just pulling out of that corner there, going down to total span as he's heading there at the moment. You're really getting some G-force off the back of that bike, and the old arms are really starting to pump up with those last couple of laps.
Well, we see in this one that Stacey Seller not getting away as he did in race number 1. Steve Braun and Dennis Simonson, the number 1 rig. They are the national champions of New Zealand, making him more than honest here. Good battle for the minors too. Adam Unsworth and Stu Dorr in there, and also number 16, and that's Bert Wallen and Charlie Bilby.
Yeah, no, Bert will be really stoked with the way things are going there. That Shark's front there looks like it wants to sink some teeth in the back of Adam there. He's eyeing him up quite nicely, but Bertie just swapped his motor actually and gone from a Honda. He usually blows up, but he's jumped into a Suzuki this year, and he appears to be really flying, so he'll be really, really wrapped sitting on the back of there.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned the Shark's jaws on the front of it, because everyone's made a comment about it.
Dead right, mate. She really does look the part out there, and like I say, here's another good battle coming up, and this is Dave Annan jumping up beside their Desi. So, these guys will battle away. It's going to see what's happened here.
Well, this is a battle for the minors, and Dave Annan down the inside looking for racing room, but Des James shuts the door on him. This is a battle just inside the top 10. Out in the front still Stacey Seller and Louise Blythe, the Whanganui, Australia, the Trans-Tasman combination, but this is where all the racing is at the moment. Round into Suzuki they come. Look at the way they just throw themselves from side to side to try and make the turn into the Robert Holden corner now. Des James just picks up a little bit of advantage, but down the inside comes Davey Annan, and as they head down into the Mitre 10 corner, I think Annan might have it. No, he hasn't. Des James shuts the door. You'd think this was the battle for first and second, Leighton, but they're just inside the top 10.
I'll tell you what, Phil, Davies, he just isn't quite holding that juice button open enough, but Des is fighting away. They're really doing a good job on that short bike right in front. So, short versus long, great battle here, but definitely Stacey riding away at the front.
Well, you mentioned the short bike versus the long bike. Tell us a little bit about it. Which is better around here at Whanganui?
Well, here we go, back to the front here. Now, come back to these two long bikes here. They're both World Cup bikes. We're looking at both LCRs, both Suzukis. So, they're a proven machine, the long machine. Whoops, here's Richie and Chris Lawrence making a battle, making their way through too. They've got a slow start, but long bikes, they tend to handle a little bit better and a bit better on a faster course. This is very short, as you know, mile long, and very dominating. So the short bikes can hang in here quite well.
And of course, these guys on your screen now, the number 5, the Red Baron Motorcycles Yamaha, Chris and Richie Lawrence have made the move up from a short bike to a long bike over the last season. Yeah, well, it's, as you say, Phil, Chris wasn't too keen on it to start with, but I'll tell you what, after last year's success, he sort of got forced onto it. They really took off. They're having a good battle with one of the local combinations, Whanganui's Darryl and Scott Dowman.
Yeah, and also right behind them, I see the girls there, Tracy Anderson and Kelly Minell, just in your picture there. They'll be pleased with themselves. They're really having a good old battle there, so well done to them.
Well, I was talking to the girls before the race started, and they said they thrive on the fact that they can beat some of the blokes, and they do it quite well.
Exactly. I'll tell you what, there's a good little battle going on here. It looks like Darren's giving old Chris a bit of a wave, and as they're heading down, he looks like he's put the juice button, and I think he's got him. Oh, a bit of a Liverpool kiss going on there, so well done.
Well, I was just going to say there's a little bit of toing and froing in there, and you saw it for yourself. The Lawrence brothers had had enough of it. 19 comes to grief. That's Mick Paul and Paul Blinkhorn, another Whanganui combination.
Yeah, the total span machine, good machine. That he's obviously come over the railway lines and spun out, but he'll be a bit disappointed with that. So back to the front, but it still appears that Stacey's absolutely romping away. The two bikes at the front are really humming.
Well, it shouldn't be a surprise. He holds all the records here at Whanganui. He had a real good run at the week before in Manfield. So this is the first time in as many years as anyone can remember that there's been a lead-up event to the racing here at Whanganui. It's part of a Triple Crown series. From here, we'll go to Taupo. Right now, though, we're watching Stacey Seller, and already he is into the lap traffic. The other thing we've got to talk about, Leighton, and you know this better than anybody, is that young Louise Blythe probably weighs, 50 kilograms dripping wet? Yeah. You're 100 plus. How does Stacey compensate for the difference in weight?
Really different. Don't know about the 100 plus, but hey, that's definitely, she's like a sack of spuds on the back there. I think we're into the final lap. Old Bronny had a good old go at shooting up the inside there on Stacey, but he's looked like he's hit the old power button and go. But certainly the bike, his handle's a lot more lighter in the fast end. Yep, as we see, the old end of the run there. Great run by Stacey again, and Stevie right up there.
So Stacey Seller gets another win here at Whanganui. Second place is Steve Braun and Dennis Simonson, and in third it's Adam Unsworth and Stu Dorr. Fourth place, Michael Walland and Charlie Bilby, and in fifth, it's Dave Annan and Warwick Demos.
Gareth, fastest qualifier, you're quite happy with that?
Yeah, actually, I didn't expect that at all. There's a lot of oil out on the circuit at the moment, dumped a few sessions ago, so to go out there and be quickest was certainly a surprise to me, but I'll take it.
Craig Sheriffs had changed brands in the off-season. Would it make a difference?
Craig, second fastest, you're having a little bit of problems with setup?
Yeah, just typical Whanganui stuff. We've still got a little bit of work to do on the front end just because it's so rough, and it's a place where you're very aggressive on the brakes and just still bottoming the forks out, but we're changing the bike each time we've ridden it, and it's definitely getting better and better, so we've changed it again and go out in this race and hope we've made a good guess.
Well, this is race number 2 for the Suzuki New Zealand sponsored Superbikes over 8 laps here at the Cemetery Circuit. And watch number G, that's Gareth Jones from Australia on the Brian Bernard racing machine, but right down the centre of the track. And it looked like Jared Love's got another flyer here, Leighton.
He has. He got a real cracker. I'll tell you, Stroud, he absolutely slipped. He was real slow off the line.
Well, we've seen so many times before, haven't we, at Whanganui, that Andrew Stroud, he doesn't get the very best of starts, but he normally comes through. Will he do it this time around? It's Gareth Jones that leads them as they head up towards the Robert Holden turn.
Yeah, they're absolutely got a cracking pace on. Gareth's pulling out nice here.
So through the right-hander that is Robert Holden and up into total span now. This little short straight, just enough to get the bike back into second gear, because these 1000cc superbikes, that's just about the only gears they're using. Maybe third a couple of times on the front straight and also on Taupo Key. Brilliant move there from Craig Sheriffs on the Honda this year. Well, that's a favoured passing spot for him here at Whanganui, and he's done it again. He's got the pass on Jared Love as they head down into the Mars Pet Care, turn number 1, down the short chute, and then it's a long Taupo Key.
Absolute cracking start, mate. That was an awesome move by Craig. He'd be really stoked with that, and Jared Love's looking good. There's Stratty, he's coming back through the pack.
That's right, he's up to 4th place now, but look at this. Sheriffs is starting to pull in Gareth Jones. Gareth Jones was a sensation here last year at Whanganui. Never seen the place before. Came through, qualified, one of the fastest, rode the wheels off the Brian Bernard Yamaha, and that's what he's doing here as well.
Look at this onboard footage here. We're on with Stroudy here, so this will be interesting. He's going to crack the pedal. I don't know how many times. We'll count as we go through, but looking good.
So once again, picture-in-picture here at Whanganui. As you're watching the foot movements, the ballet-like movements of Andrew Stroud. He's such a tall bloke. He's like a praying mantis over this brother Suzuki. This is the battle at the front of the field, though, and Sheriffs is getting a little bit closer. He has a sneaky look down the inside. Can he make the pass stick? Jones has got to give him room. He does so. Oh, and he got so close to clipping the curb as they come out onto Taupo Key. Now it's a horsepower race, Slayton. Who's got it, the Honda or the Yamaha?
I don't know, mate. She's close, but I'll tell you what, Sheriffs is absolutely climbing into this thing, and it really does look good. These two are getting away from the pack.
Well, it is a hot day here at Whanganui, and if you remember 2 years ago, Craig Sheriffs on a 600cc machine set the lap record in the 48. You heard Leighton say it's a mile around, and that is fast. And you get a graphic example of it there. Look at the way the bike twitches as Gareth Jones hangs it all out as they head for the Besra Bridge once again to complete another lap here at Whanganui. It's Palmerston North, Craig Sheriffs in the front, Gareth Jones chasing hard. I think you can forget about the rest, Leighton.
Oh, I don't know, mate. I'll tell you what, I think Gareth's going to have another crack.
Well, this is the battle at the front of the field. Here's an example of how fast it is. This is down the DML Builders Straight, the front straight here at Whanganui. You're riding on the back of Ray Clee's Suzuki. And just listen to the revs on the engine. And there he is, the man from Kumu. Said by many to be the best engineer in the business. Not a bad rider either. He's won the TT at Pukekohe in the past. He's coming back after a lengthy spell with a troublesome arm injury. But great to see him back here at Whanganui.
Doesn't she sound sweet? He's just cracking under the bridge now. Look at that, just pulling away. Sounds lovely.
And look at that, you hear not too many gear changes, so what we said is absolutely correct.
That's Tanner, I think, who's trying to pull him in there in behind him there. Yes, it is. Yeah, definitely is.
Peter Tanner on the Aprilia, the 1000 V twin. As they work their way up towards the Besra Ridge. It's a different perspective, isn't it, looking behind?
Certainly catches you. It's eye-catching. Look at the crowd. But hey, we're back to the action in the front.
Oh, and what action we've got here, because here comes the attack from the Aussie. The Queenslander's got up the inside.
Oh, no!
Sheriffs has gone straight through, and he's cursing himself. Look at it. He shakes his head. He can't believe the mistake he's made here.
He's coming back. Well, look at him. Good on him. Who's he got? Oh, there's Hayden Fitzgerald. So he just popped in front of him.
Just got in front of his teammate. There is Andrew Stroud. Right in behind Stroud. It is the 69. That's Jared Love on the Suzuki again. Then it's Fitzgerald, and then it's Sheriffs. Now, Leighton, I got to put it on you. You've done lots of laps around here yourself. You've seen these guys race. Can Sheriffs come back from this?
Oh, he's a tough toggler, I'd say. He's got the power to pull him Love or have a crack at Love, but look at Gareth. I mean, he's got half a front straightaway on these guys at the moment, so it's Yamaha, Suzuki. So, wow, this is going to be really hot to watch.
Well, that's the thing. Is it time to shut the gate? Is Gareth Jones bolted? He's the sole member of the Brian Bernard racing team this year on the Yamaha, the Pirelli Shod machines. Here's a little battle going on behind the scenes, if you like, further down through the field. Bruce McKenzie in there from Martinborough. Here is Gareth Jones. Now, he's going to be involved with these lap traffic. Oh, Jones has thrown it away. Can you believe it? And look at the bike. It spins like a top. Jones jumps up onto the hay bales.
Here they come. The others must be coming through. Yep.
The bike is in the middle of the racetrack. The yellow flags are out. Oh, Andrew Stroud couldn't believe it. He did double take. He saw the G lying on the ground. And I think Gareth Jones might have hurt himself. Here it is on the replay. Oh, and it's a fast get-off.
Yeah, nasty fall. But look, he's got up, which is great news. But look at that bike. She's just spinning. And you want to get out of there in a hurry. I tell you, it's not a good spot to be.
I tell you what, lady was lucky that the bike didn't follow him in. And I think he might have hurt his hand. He's certainly looking at his hand there. He can't believe his bad luck. Meantime, the race goes on. This man can't believe his good luck because he's inherited the front running. And that is Andrew Stroud, 69. Love in second. Then it is Sheriff. So he's on the comeback. Can he go all the way?
I tell you, look at Sheriffs. He'll be like a nugget on a hot chop, mate. He can sniff some victory here, so he'll be into this.
Well, race promoter Leighton Manel giving us his tips, his expert opinion here. Done many, many laps in the course car and also on the back of a sidecar. As we go back to our picture-in-picture, you're on board while you're watching the foot antics of Andrew Stroud here on the Brother Suzuki. And if you have a look on the top right-hand corner of your screen, that's the outside shot. Stroud leads it. I think that Sheriffs has got up into second place. Just got a glimpse of a red bike there, Leighton.
You're dead right, Phil. He's really starting to come in, and I tell you what, there's not much left in this. So I think as we come around this time, I'm bloody sure we'll get a white flag.
So down over the Besra Bridge they come once again, and slightly off camber there, and they're mired in the lap traffic, and once again Bruce McKenzie's going to play a part in this, whether he wants to or not. Here come the two protagonists, and I think Sheriffs has gone up the inside. Oh, he tried.
Definitely last lap there, Phil, so we're on it. This is going to be all hot.
So on to Taupo Key for the last time, up towards the Suzuki crossing. Big wheelie from Stroud on the Brother Suzuki. Then it's the Castrol Honda of Craig Sheriffs. He changed brands. We've got another one going down.
I'll tell you what, that looked like Jeff Titchburn from Hastings. I think he went off there.
I think it was, and that was the same place that Gareth Jones went. And here is Sheriffs up the inside into Robert Holden, and he makes the pass stick. Sheriffs does it. He runs a little bit wide. Can Stroud come back? No, he can't. I think he's going to be thwarted by the lap traffic. So Craig Sheriffs, he went wide. He overshot the circuit down on Taupo Key. He's come back.
Stroudy's back.
Stroudy's back in front of him, though, as they come over the Besra Bridge. This is the drag race to the finish. Who's going to get there first? And it is Andrew Stroud by the merest of margins. Have a look at the difference between Stroud and Sheriffs. Then it was Hayden Fitzgerald. Good ride for the second Honda rider. 69 Jared Love, first of the 600s, and then it was Ray Clee.
I spun the back wheel off the line. I didn't really go anywhere. So I ended up way back in the pack, and I had to fight my way through, and I saw Craig and Gareth out there going for it. Then I saw Craig overshoot a bit, and then Gareth went down, so it ended up being in the front. But Craig came by me going into the Rose Gardens up the inside and fired me up a little bit, and he kind of ran wide, a fraction, and I just enough to sneak back underneath him, and we kind of side by side around the back towards the bridge there, and just held him off, so that was good, wasn't it?
Well, he's ridden just about every class here, and he's ridden just about every brand of motorcycle, but this year, 2008, sees Jared Love back on Suzuki.
It's going to be a good series, eh? Jonesy's just come back from the World Superstocks, and he's obviously on form and riding for a good team with Brian and that, so throw Sam Smith and a few of the other boys, Dennis Charlotte and everyone in there. It's going to be quite a good series.
Sam Smith made his debut on his Yamaha at the Cemetery Circuit last year. He's back, a year older, a year more experienced.
Who do you see as your main competition here today?
Definitely Gareth Jones. He's going to be really strong in both classes, and also Jared Love on the Suzuki. He's going to be pushing it really hard. He's really good around the streets as well. So I think as long as I can, be up the front and hopefully in front of those guys, then I'll be definitely happy.
Well, this is the start of race number 2 for the 600 Mars Pet Care. Bring it to you. And as they rocket off the line, we welcome in Leighton Manel once again. Gareth Jones is in there. Oh, there's a problem there. And I've got a feeling it's taken 3 of them down, and one of them might have been the Japanese rider. And there goes Paul Brown on Taupo Key, all on his own.
She's
Leighton,
all happening,
what's
mate.
happened here?
I tell you, that first call looked like Mark Hay was practicing to be a stunt rider there as he went in. I don't know what's happened there in the second one.
Here it is on the replay. Have a look. Big stoppy, if you like, and takes them all down. The Japanese rider.
Yep, definitely Yoshi.
And also, it looked like John Oliver down there as well. And this is another angle of it. They're dropping like flies. There goes Paul Brown. This is in the first lap, folks, of the second 600 sports production race here at Whanganui.
Yeah, nasty little headbutt there too, but everyone appears to be okay, but certainly unbelievable start.
So restart now. Let's see. The field slightly depleted. Watch for Gareth Jones, number G. And 69 is going to lead them into the first turn, the Mars Pet Care turn. And that is Jared Love on the Suzuki. Oh, and just about another coming together there, Leighton, as they work their way down the short chute, the Hookers Transport Straight.
I'll tell you what, I think the boys are a bit fired up, but certainly we've got around the start of this craziness now, and let's get into the race. But Nick Cole's right up there as well.
Yeah, Nick Cole doing a fantastic job there, the Red Devil Racing Kawasaki, but it is the 69 of Jared Love in the front. And we've seen him ride all sorts of different bikes here at Whanganui, but he seems to be at home on the 600 Suzuki. There it is, the B Sport Suzuki at the front of the field. He's got a tiger on his tail, though, with Gareth Jones. Jones riding 2 classes today, the 1000 and the 600. Up over the Besra Bridge for the first of 4 times, because we got halfway through the first one before the restart. And Gareth Jones all over the back of Jared Love as they work their way into turn 1 again. Who's your money on, Leighton? Is it going to be the Aussie? He never knows when he's given up.
Yeah, we certainly got a bit of fight in him, Gareth, and he's really done the hard yards this year. But Jared, great to see him back on a 600, and as we know, he'll pedal well out of this thing. And working for Suzuki, they're riding for Suzuki. I think they've got a really good package. But Nick Cole, he's fighting hard, and I don't know, it's really going to be a tough one. But certainly, Jonesy looks like he's got the goods.
They approach the Robert Holden turn now. 69 G and 6 is the order for the front 3. And look at that, you can throw a blanket over them. And Nick Cole doing a fantastic job. You were saying, Leighton, that he's been pretty sensational over the winter.
Yeah, no, I mean, Nick, I've really been watching hard over through the winter series, and he's just got stronger and stronger. I mean, he's a big unit, and he really pedals this bike. And if you look at him, he just won't give up. He's really got some fight in him. So, no, this is going to be a good one.
Well, the other one that won't give up is Gareth Jones, and he dives down the inside as they go through the Mars Pet Care turn into the front in the 600s. And look at Cole. Now he's tapping on the back door there of Jared Love. Well, Love's Mr. Aggression.
He is, and he won't be used to having Mr. Cole right behind him. So, no, this is really starting to pan out. I think Nick's going to really push him hard for these next couple of laps. But in front, I mean, Jones is just riding away now.
Well, Gareth Jones spotted some clear traffic and away he goes. This is what's happening further back through the field as we go on board here with Sam Smith. Now, we haven't mentioned Sam too much at Whanganui this year, the Suzuki-sponsored cemetery circuit, because, well, he hasn't been the standout he was 2 years ago. He had that big crash at Ruapuna, and, well, it's taken him a while to recover from it. You're on board watching out the front windscreen, and the picture-in-picture shows just how hard these riders are trying. Watch the way he's all over the bike.
He's certainly making it look easy, isn't he? He's just really easing into great shots coming off the front here as he gets down that front straight there. And here we go, heading into Mars Pet Care turn. So, if you ever look out the front, we go back to the front, you'll see the boys are not far in front of him. So he's working pretty hard, Sam.
This is the closing stages of the 600s, and we've got a rider down, and that's the 111 Taranaki's Bryce Meads has fallen, and he must be causing concern. The red flag comes out, the race is stopped. So the results tell you that Gareth Jones goes through for the win. In second place, it was Nick Cole, so he got in front of Jared Love. And in fourth, it was the Formula 3 champion, and that is Glenn Williams. Fifth place was Sam Smith, and in sixth, it is Paul Dobbs.
The 600 has gone exceptionally well today, and we found a good setup for the street here, and it's a nice balance between steering and not too rough over the bumps.
Do definitely come here to win, but just the thrill and the excitement and the crowd, everything makes it a wicked meeting.
Nick was on a charge there, Nick Cole.
Yeah, no, he had real good mid-corner speed and stuff and was looking real good, so he sneaked on by, but yeah, it's just a little bit slippery and so much carnage. I just really wasn't prepared to sort of get involved with that one.
It's been over 2 years since Sean Harris strode a motorcycle, but he did so at Manfield last week. It was an emotional time for the man that is one of the favourites here at the cemetery circuit.
Got to the first turn at the start of the race and realised, gosh, I'm crying. And then by the end of the first turn, I was bawling my eyes out and laughing in my helmet that hard I could barely see. And I continued on bawling for about 20 minutes after the race, just at the sheer pleasure of I'm alive, I'm really grateful, and I'm back doing what I love to do.
Well, the Gremlin is back, make no mistake about it. Look for him in bike number 8, and it's him that's got the best of the starts as they head down into the Mars Pet Care turn. Watch too for Peter Tanner on the Brig Aprilia, and a couple of other triumphs in there as well. And watch for a bit of a crowd pleaser. That's number 66, and that is Darren Heeman from Nelson on the Harley Davidson. He's worth the price of admission, Leighton.
Yeah, I tell you what, he's a great entertainer. Absolutely great to see the old tassels and big western bars coming off the old bike as she comes around.
So out of the high equip straight they come and heading up towards the Eurobike S's now. This big field of bears. Bears, for those new to it, British, European, American racing series. You won't see any Japanese bikes in this field, and it's an Aprilia that's leading it, and it's the big 1000cc of Peter Tanner.
Tell you what, Terry Fitzgerald's lining up there. Harris, he's right on his gate as we come along onto the bridge now.
So over the Vesra Bridge they go. Tanner in the front, the Itchy Trout Racing Aprilia. And he's got a big advantage. Sean Harris and Terry Fitzgerald arguing over the real estate for second and third. But look at this. Tanner's just getting away from them here. Down the Hookers Transport Straight he comes now. Then he'll bank it right through Bridgestone and out onto Taupo Quay once again. There is Sean Harris. Now, that's a story in itself, isn't it, Leighton? Because 2, maybe 3 seasons ago now, Sean Harris came so close to losing his life after a very, very serious accident at the Isle of Man. He's battled back to full fitness and he's battled back to racing. I know he raced at the Manfield round that preceded the cemetery circuit here at Whanganui, and it all got a little bit too much for him emotional-wise. He told me he wants to win this race, and if he can do that, he won't race any longer.
Yeah, no, he's pretty excited to be back. Certainly, Sean, he's a hard, nuggety little chap, and as you know, he's won some great races around the world. Tell you what, Terry Fitzgerald's given him a real run for his money here, and I'm just trying to pick his behind him, but they're certainly coming up real fast. Here comes Harris back, so this is a real battle going on. Great for the crowd.
Well, you mentioned that Sean Harris was nuggety. I don't think you'd use those words to describe Terry Fitzgerald. He's precise, and that's the race leader.
No, that's
and he's
Tanner.
thrown it away on the Taupo Key, and that's Peter Tanner's gone down, and he's done it all on his own.
I'll tell you what, this is going to mix the bag up. Let's watch the Gremlin here. He'll be sniffing a little bit of victory, so certainly Fitzgerald, I don't know, it's all going to be on this last couple of laps.
So it's a Ducati leading. That's Terry Fitzgerald. Right in behind him, H, the Gremlin, Sean Harris, and then it is Nigel Healy, and he's come up to this party very quickly, as you said, Leighton, and he could be he could play a spoiler role here because he's right on Harris now.
Tell you what, we're just going through the Stonewood Homes, and look at Harris. He's really having a go here. This is the final lap we're in here, and he's cut his lunch. He's come straight under Fitzgerald there, and I'll tell you what, you're right. The Aprilia's come right around. Healy's coming for second.
Wow, look at
What a
that.
finish.
Emotional times here for Sean Harris. He gets the win he was looking for at the Cemetery Circuit. In second place, it will be Nigel Healy. We picked it. He said he'd finish quickly. And in third, it's the veteran Terry Fitzgerald. Fourth place was Murray Rollinson. And in fifth, it is Paul Dobbs.
No problem in that race?
Except for one number 63 broke down outside the Suzuki building here. Then when he got going, he cut straight back in front of me and nearly made me crash into him. But apart from that, no problems whatsoever.
This is the Jurgens Contracting Formula 3. 35 bikes will face the starter. And watch for the number one. He is the defending New Zealand champion. That is Glenn Williams. He had problems in the earlier going, an ignition problem stopped the Suzuki, but it looks like he's in the top spot as they head down the Hookers Transport Straight once again. A couple of riders of interest to look out for in this field. Once again, we've got Paul Dobbs out there on his Norton F750 this time, but it's Williams in the front, and another one that's an interesting machine, isn't it, Leighton? And that's the 111 Jason Easton on the Tigcraft. Now, in the past, we've seen him on a Yamaha-powered Tigcraft, but now he's got the Aprilia engine in there.
Yeah, no, he gets this thing going. I'll tell you, it's a little 125 frame, and that Aprilia really hauls, and he rides the pants off it. You'll watch him get around here, but he'll hang certainly hang in there with the top top three bikes all day. He's one of those guys that can just come out there and pull one out.
Well, as they come over the Vesra Bridge, certainly one that's pulled it out is Glenn Williams from Palmerston North on a Danavic Suzuki SV650. There is Jason Easton, we mentioned him before, and there's a man we've talked about already in our coverage of part two here of the Suzuki-sponsored Whanganui Cemetery Circuit. That is bike number 2, and that is Terry Fitzgerald.
Yeah, well, Terry will certainly be hoping to nudge his way in front of Jason there, because obviously with that Beers race we saw previous, he must be getting tired. Terry's just riding ride after ride after ride, but he's right up there in every one he's got in.
Well, he's 50 plus. He had a bit of a health scare a couple of seasons ago, but I would say he's back to his best. And this is a bit of a precursor, isn't it? Because all these top 3 runners here will be battling it out in the Castrol Power 1 Superbike Road Racing Championships coming up over the New Zealand summer.
Exactly, Phil. Yeah, no, a lot of these guys, this is just pre-season warm-up. Well, not really. They look forward to Whanganui. It's a big event. There goes Terry. He did get in front of Jason. Great move.
Well,
Absolutely.
he made it look so easy, didn't he?
He really did. He threaded the needle there, and here comes Jason back. He's not going to quite get him. Terry's holding the line, so no, really, really good racing there from Terry.
And just keep in mind that this is the battle for second and third, because fast disappearing up the track is bike number 1, and that is Glenn Williams. This is what's happening further down through the field.
Yeah, that's Flea Willisey on his little 125 GP bike, and he's really doing well. He's in the top 10 by the look of him there, and cranking it through the S's. There's quite a pile behind him, but Flea is he's really going to be happy with that. So no, it's a tiny little bike, and he's a tiny little man, but he's a hard case.
Well, that's where you get the variation, if you like, of Formula 3. You've got a little 125 GP bike, as Leighton told you, and then Mark Anderson on a Suzuki S650 just trying to battle with him. This man also on an SV650, and that is Glenn Williams. He's out in front. Fitzgerald's cleared away from Jason Easton now. And the laps are winding down. In fact, we're on the last lap now as we watch for Glenn Williams. Here he is over the Vesra Bridge for the last time. Checkered flag comes out, and he wins it and wins it easily. Second place will be Terry Fitzgerald, and in third place it will be 111 Jason Easton. Fourth place is number 12W, and that is Jared Wintle. And in fifth, it is Mark Wigley on bike number 6.
Good win in that F3 race. You got your bike fixed.
Yeah, we found a broken wire, which is just something totally out of the blue, and I thought I had the best prepared bike in the country, to tell you the truth, but there we go, everybody's fallible. But yeah, broken wire, but we got out there and the bike ran perfectly, so yeah, cool to have a win.
Terry, second place, you happy with that?
Yeah, it was my first overall for the day, and yeah, first would have been better, but you know, it's pretty good, yeah.
Welcome back to the Suzuki-sponsored Cemetery Circuit here at Whanganui as we get set for the post-classic sidecars, and these guys are worth the price of admission. They're probably not as fast as the top sidecars that my co-commentator Leighton Manel normally competes on, but they make up for it in excitement and fun.
Yeah, these boys and girls, they really put on a good show. I mean, the old-timers, there's a bit of everything here. We've got Harleys, Triumphs, Nortons. They'll really spin the wheels. A lot of rubber, a lot of smoke, a lot of squealing, and it's good fun to watch.
Well, it is the BMW-powered classic of Andy Scrivener and Steve Bryan that have gone out into the front, but they haven't got it all their own way.
Now, the Mickelsons are right up behind, and young Joanne Mickelson, I don't know, you have a look, she's only a little half-pint, but she really swings out hard on this thing, and her dad, Neville, he's really a good throttle jockey, so now that'll be a good little battle that unfolds here.
Well, this is a class you know a lot about, Leighton, and you said that watch the 95, and look at the way she's hanging over the side of the chair, but the real place to watch her is on the Vesra Bridge, because she'll get out and just about bang her head on the curbs.
Yeah, really mind-blowing. I saw them follow them at Pyro one year, and obviously when she just gets right out over, and the helmet's just over the curb, you have a look here, it's just quite incredible, really, and the bike's in the air, so it's really good for the old crowd to watch, but must be a bit nerve-wraking for Dad.
Well, there's a graphic example of it. The 95, Joanne tucks in and gets as aerodynamic as possible as they try and chase down Andy Scrivener and Steve Bryan. Good battle going on for the minors there as well. But the one I'm looking forward to seeing is Will Williamson and Julie Loveridge on the 74. They were insane here last year.
Yeah, there we go back. There's the Dennison boys now. They're real show pleasers. You watch this, the smoke come off this thing. But yeah, Will coming back from overseas is just great. And this is the battle of the big wheel, as we call it. But look at Dog Roll Dennison. He's really into this thing. He's like a ballerina in leathers. So we'll watch this with a bit of the crowd just love it.
How much have sidecar racing changed? You compare these rigs to what we're riding today with the LCRs, the likes of your machine, Leighton, and of course Steve Bryan's bike, and there's no comparison really, is there?
No, I tell you what, when we come past them in the same race, we just about whip their stickers off, but I tell you what, it's just a lot of fun when you get out there on one of these rigs. I've had a shot and I had a swing on this one here, number 74 as well. Been here since 1973, this rig. Absolute crowd favourite wherever he goes. And there's Julie hanging in on the back there, but a lot of fun, and just everything's happening. You feel the air, you feel the wind, and I don't know, it's just something you'll always talk about.
You're saying that the numbers are up in the post-classic sidecars, and it's the reason that we're giving them separate races here at the Suzuki-sponsored Cemetery Circuit this year.
Yeah, no, it was great to see. I mean, we did a crowd survey last year, and they were all saying, where's the classic sidecars? So, look at that end of the race fast. But Scrivy's just pulled away with that quite easily. Peter Anderson into second.
Well, a characteristic tap on the helmet for Steve Bryan there as Andy Scrivener gets the win. Second place, Peter Anderson and Richie Lawrence, and in third place, it's Neville and Joanne Mickelson. Fourth place, Tracy Anderson and Kelly Manel, and in fifth, it's Simon Windleborn and James Bird. This is action from an earlier Superbike race, and this is Gareth Jones. He was the race leader at the time, just coming out of the S's. He threw it away. The bike was extensively damaged, but the Brian Bernard mechanics say they can get it fixed in time.
You're going to be back out in the 1,000 shortly?
Yeah, we've got the feature race, and I'm going to ride the 1,000. So I think it's the right choice. You can ride the 6 or the 1,000, but I think we can be faster on the 1,000 around here, especially over 15 laps.
And your thumb?
Oh, yeah, that's another story. Yeah.
Well, the bad news if you're a Yamaha fan is that Gareth Jones is in fact on the 600, not the 1,000. They couldn't get the bike fixed in time. Hasn't slowed his start though, and I think he'll lead them into turn one here, Leighton Manel.
Yeah, certainly. He's got a great start really on the 600. Bit of a surprise. Look at him. He's pulling away already. So normal start at the front here, but look at it.
And Craig Sheriff's in there as well, and Jared Love too, as we go back through the field. A huge field now. To get in the Robert Holden, you have to be in the 30 top fastest lap times to be there. It's the best of the best here at the Suzuki-sponsored Cemetery Circuit for 2008, and it's the Aussie leading Craig Sheriff's. Craig Sheriff's on the Honda this year, remember, on the red bike. Don't look for him on the yellow bike. The yellow bike is Gareth Jones ahead of him. Now, I can't reiterate enough, he's on the 600 machine.
Yeah, Jared Love and looks like Stroudy right in there too, so they're certainly, it's going to tighten up. Certainly 15 fabulous laps, and we'll just watch it unfold.
Well, that's right. We should probably mention the fact that it's double the distance of the heat races, so it's obviously going to take the toll on tyres, on machinery, and on the riders. And what about the Mover Sheriffs? Oh, talk about take the toll. Nearly took the arm off Gareth Jones. 56, Craig Sheriff's back to his best at Whanganui.
Yeah, certainly, Craig. He's absolutely demon for taking those inside lines and just riding the walls, isn't he? So that was a cracking passing move. So let's go.
This is interesting to me too, Leighton, the fact that Jared Love in front of Andrew Stroud and Nick Cole nipping at his heels.
Yeah, I don't know whether Stroudy got another rough start off the line. I never got to see it, but Cole is certainly right up there. The 600 boys are really mixing it up there, so it's really good to see.
Well, I know we mentioned it before, but on the big bikes, the 1000cc machines, they only get to third gear. Most of it's in second. It's a point and squirt circuit here at the Cemetery Circuit. It's a mile round, and they get around here in under 49 seconds if they're going fast, and there's none faster than the man in the front, and that is Craig Sheriffs. He's got the lap record. We're on board here with the brother Suzuki of Andrew Stroud, multi-time champion of New Zealand, now in his 40s, but still probably one of the best out there.
You know, look at that. He's like a praying mantis. It certainly he hasn't burst his leathers there, people. He's just, it's a great little shot we're putting on the bike here, and it looks really fantastic. Look how he gets that knee close to the curves.
Well, you can track his progress because with the picture-in-picture, that is the bike of Andrew Stroud, the brother Suzuki, the black Suzuki, and you're riding with him, and it's an unusual shot, but you get to see how much of a physical beating these guys take, stretching all the time and just keeping that knee off the curbs here. And Leighton, we probably should talk about the curbs because it's not like a beautifully manicured racing circuit. There are curbs, there are white lines, there are potholes, there are manhole covers. It's part of the beauty of the Cemetery Circuit, isn't it?
Yeah, no, rough and tumble it's as you get it, and certainly when you're out there riding, you are wary, and you're looking, you're seeing the curbs, the potholes, and particularly as a manhole cover, they're just about to hit down here in a minute, but it unsteadies the bike. We're watching it, it just dips in there it goes, straight out. So no, you get a bit of everything when you're doing a race circuit, and I think it's great. There's Hayden Fitzgerald, he's actually pulling them in too.
Well, he's a teammate of the race front runner at the moment, and that is Craig Sheriffs. Fitzgerald on the Castrol Honda. That's why it's in the red, white and green colours. 61, he's really come on. He's been over in Europe, over in England, racing for the last 2 off-seasons in New Zealand. Comes back here and prepares at Whanganui, gets set for the summer of motorcycle racing. Look at this scrap going on further down through the field. 36, great to see him back. That's Ray Clee. And then there's Sam Smith on the Yamaha, and right in behind him, Carl Morgan. These guys will be dicing it out in the summer of motorcycling. There's Peter Tanner. We saw him throw the bike down in the Bears race. Well, he's got it all prepared now, and he's in there. He got there because of his fast lap times.
You know, he certainly was smoking in those Bears races. He'd be disappointed he put it down, but great to see him back.
So pretty busy times there. There is Tanner. Then we go back to Jane. Now, that's another one of our Australian visitors. That's Joel Reid. He would have his eyes opened here, wouldn't he, Leighton? He wouldn't seen anything like this in Australia.
Mate, he hasn't. He's just raving about it, absolutely having the ball. Here we go back to Sheriffs. I'll tell you what, he's showing more toe than a Roman sandal. He's just pulling away at the moment, but that big 1000 seems to be pumping.
Well, I tell you what, I thought he was having a look to see where his opposition was as he came out onto the Taupo Key that time. I can tell you it's right there. There's Gareth Jones on the Bernard Racing Pirelli Shod Yamaha. Remember, it's a 600cc machine. Then it's Andrew Stroud. We go back to this unusual onboard shot. And we've mentioned it before. Andrew Stroud is a tall, gangly young man. Well, not so young these days. And he looks, as Leighton told you, looks like a praying mantis on the bike. He's all over it, using the body English, as they say, to get it round the turns and stop the front end coming up with, as it does every time they carefully roll on the throttle up over the Beresford Bridge. They come and down into the DML Builders Straight. This is the front straight here at Whanganui, past the rock box where all the spectators are sitting.
Down.
Oh, and one's gone down.
Yeah, that was Mark Wigley, Phil. He's absolutely binned it. He'd want to get out of there in a hurry, because I'll tell you what, that'll make a real mess.
Well, Mark Wigley, we saw him do pretty good things in the Formula 3 races. He hasn't done a good thing here at the Robert Holden. And that bike, you'd have to say, Leighton, is in a dangerous position.
Yeah, no, not a good place. But it looks like they're carrying on. I haven't seen too many yellows, but they're into it.
Well, they are, and we're getting to the business end of the race now. And look at this. Nick Cole's right in behind Jared Love there. This is a battle for the minors. Out in the front, it is still Craig Sheriffs from Gareth Jones.
Yeah, Nick Cole, I mean, he's really come on. I mean, like I say, he's going to be an exciting prospect to keep an eye on. There's Yoshi from Japan. He'll be wrapped. No, it's great. I think it's the only race he's stayed up on all day. He's had a bit of a rough day, but that's great to see him out there.
Well, that's right. The bike's is certainly bearing the scars. Bike 42 there, Tony O'Keefe goes through. You can see the bike of Wigley still down. There's the race leader. There is Craig Sheriff. There is Gareth Jones. Lap Rider's going to play a part in this one as we get down to the business end. Is it going to be O'Keefe? Because they're going to catch him, I think, before they get through to the start-finish line. Jones just works his way up the inside as they head down past the cemetery, up Heads Road. This is what the circuit is named after.
Straight into the Robert Holden. Yeah, no, I think we're on the last lap. I'm pretty sure this is just about the end of the race there, Phil, but certainly doesn't look like anyone's going to get near Sheriffs.
There is the race leader heading down towards the Stonewood Homes curbs. O'Keefe's and up over the Bearsford Bridge. Will we see the chicken flag this time? O'Keefe's not going to play a part in it. The victory wheelie from Craig Sheriffs. He gets the win in the prestigious Robert Holden. In second place it is Gareth Jones, and in third place it is Andrew Stroud. Fourth place goes to Jared Love, and in fifth it's Hayden Fitzgerald. Sixth place, and what a ride from the youngster Sloane Frost.
I was sort of following Gareth for the first lap and a half or whatever it was, and then I realised he's only on his little bike. I thought, I better not follow him for too long. I knew if I could get past him I could just park my bike in the corners and make it very hard for him to get back past, but he was hanging on there for a few laps, and I was sort of having a look at the same spot every lap, and he's always right there, but I wasn't trying real hard because I knew I had the horsepower basically.
Unfortunately, we had to ride the 600 in that race due to that little crash before that we were unable to get the 1,000 back together. But anyway, I tried really hard, and where I lost in straight line speed, I tried to make up on the brakes in the corner and boiled the brake, so I lost a bit of ground, and it was very hard to make it back up after that. But Craig rode a fantastic race, kept the thing together, in a straight line the whole time, and all credit to him.
Let's finish at a slower pace, back on the water with Formula Honda racing from the year 2000.
Now in its fourth year, the One Make Formula Honda series has again drawn new competitors into the world of offshore powerboating. With all of the boats being identical and sharing the all-important propellers, it really comes down to driver ability and a little bit of luck. You know, they say time flies when you're having fun, and wouldn't you know it, we've come round to the offshore powerboat season again. This season it's Cougar Marine and NX Metals, but it also means another season of Formula Honda, this very successful one-make class that has taken the powerboat world to storm. Some new faces, some new combinations, some new boats. It's going to be a fantastic season. For season 2008, there were new combinations, and in some cases, family loyalties were split. Mark Helms explains.
A new younger member of our family here, Bryce, 18 years old, and Mike, who was crewing with me last year, our eldest son, is in fact racing against us this season. So that's going to be very, very interesting. He's going to be a man to beat. Formula Honda's full of surprises, and I'm sure they'll be one of them. I think Light Industries, Grant Garrity. God, you could go on. Like I say, Formula Honda, you never can tell.
So all is in readiness for a fantastic season in Formula Honda. Some new faces, some old favourites, and we kick it all off here at Taupo for Thunder on the Great Lake as the boats head out. For them, a 60-mile race. Certainly one of the favourites would be Miss Electrapart, Mark and Bryce Helms. Yellow flag up, so we're just about set for a start in race number 1. There's CRD Automotive back for another season, and look at the shoreline, absolutely lined with thousands upon thousands of keen offshore spectators. Back on board, we are set for a start here, and it's a good start too for Miss Electrapart. That is Mark Helms, but a better start for Mikey Smith and Matt Hopkins in Cougar Marine as we go on board here with Honda Marine. And this is Rob Glenn and Carl Thompson out of Auckland. Carl, of course, the brother of Travis Thompson. Travis now doing duties in the Superboat Lights with Kelly Smith. More about them later as we watch this enthralling battle unfold there. Looks like Morel Motors up in it as well. And this is Logan and Mark Morel from their hometown here in Taupo. Morel Motors, the dealership here just off Lake Terrace, and that's where all the spectators are watching this enthralling battle. Light Industries in this one as well, Mike and Darren Urquhart, and back to base 6. Now this is Glenn and Chris Powell. Last year they ran under the Hydraulic banner. This year they've got the intriguing name of Back to Base 6. That's them, the blue boat, and alongside them champions 2 seasons ago, Mike and Darren Urquhart. At the moment, they're battling for the minors around about 7th and 8th, but it's early going. And look at the speed differences. Peter Turner and Craig Archer rocket by in Sleepyhead. This is the man that's stolen the march on the rest of the field, though. This is Mike Smith from Wellington. Been around since the very beginning of the Formula Honda class. And he is the brother of Kelly Smith and the son of Grant Smith. So it is a powerboating family. So back on board here with Rob Glenn and Carl Thompson. See them as they round the mark there. And these Hondas look easy to drive, but I can tell you it's 60 miles an hour, and that's the speed these Sonic 19-foot hulls do. They are a bit of a handful, especially when we've got a little bit of a chop running, which we have here at Taupo today. And you see there Rob just looking around. His job, of course, to trim the boat and work the ballast as they head back out towards the top mark here on this L-shaped course. It's round 1 of 8 for the Formula Hondas. And it always has been a hallmark of the racing. It is so close at the top of the field. There is back to base 6. Right in behind them it is Building Solutions. Now that's the ex-Tony Coleman boat, but of course this year Tony has stepped up into the superboat class, and Building Solutions now being run by Michael Knight and Shannon Thickpenny. And that's what we talked about before, about the family loyalties being split, because last year Mike Knight co-drove for Mark Helms. It was a father and son combination, but now he is out on his own. This man out on his own as well. This is Mikey Smith and Matt Hopkins. Now Matt Hopkins started life in Formula Hondas as a co-driver for Kelly Smith. And as our helicopter zoom in here on Morel Motors, once again the locals, Mark and Logan Morel, they're currently sitting in around about 10th spot. And here is the view from the helicopter as we track their progress on the outward leg here. Remember, 2 races in 1 in New Zealand offshore powerboating. It is the 100-mile race for the superboats and the superboat lights, but it is a 60-mile race for the Formula Hondas. This is Team Altitude, or it's actually Team For Sale this year. Tony Todd doing the driving. Last year, Jeff Week and Jackie McGowan doing the work in that. Then it's Zane and Colin Dunn in CRD Automotive, making it look a little bit harder than it really is. Around about half distance now. And this is Building Solutions, once again, Michael Knight and Shannon Thickpenny. Shannon brand new to any form of offshore powerboating. Michael Knight in his 2nd season. Remember, he ran with his father last year, now out on his own. It's the ex-Tony Coleman boat, as we told you. Tony now running the Cure Kids boat with Grant Velder in Superboats. This is the race leader, though, as he rounds the top mark. This is Mikey Smith and Matt Hopkins, Cougar Marine. Cougar Marine, one of the main sponsors of the New Zealand Offshore Championships, along with Inex Medals this season. And Mikey Smith, now one of the veterans of Formula Honda, been around since the inception of the class 4 years ago now, or this is the 4th year. Original champion was Greg Brink. He's moved up. 2nd year, it was Mike Urquhart. This is Mike Perro Mortgages. And this is Cynthia and Grant Garrity. And both these two come out of a jet sprinting background, but they're also veterans of the Formula Honda Wars now, their 3rd season as well in Mike Perro Mortgages. Zane and Colin Dunn making it look just that little bit harder. You can see how much boat's left in the water, so, well, maybe they've got a trim problem or something's going wrong there, but they look like they're going fast, but they're being passed. CRD Automotive, their 2nd full season in Formula Hondas. And it really has, as I said before, given a boost, a shot in the arm, if you like, to the New Zealand offshore scene. Here is Light Industries. This is Mike and Darren Urquhart. Now, Mike won the championship 2 seasons ago now with Chris Bartlett. Well, last year, Chris teamed up with his wife, Debbie, and they won the title, but they're now gone. The boat's still there, but they are gone. The boat now in the hands of Mikey Smith and Cougar Marine, so it's been repainted. And so too is 2nd place from last year. They've gone as well because they've moved up. And so too is 3rd place. So whatever happens in Formula Honda this year, we will be crowning a new champion. Gambler, this is Kevin Smith. Now this is yet another sibling of Grant Smith. And speaking of siblings, there is Honda Marine. And that is Rob Glenn and Carl Thompson. And Carl Thompson, of course, is the brother of Travis Thompson, who's now with Kelly Smith and Ray Glass in the Superboat Lights, and the son of Barry Thompson, who was a past world and New Zealand offshore powerboating champion. You're on board with them here. And if you're new to offshore, you'll notice one thing: they don't wear seatbelts. That's because when they come out of the boat or the boat turns turtle, they can get out of it quite quickly. So this is the man in third place. This is Mike and Darren Urquhart in Building Solutions. So it's been a pretty happy race for them. They'll get good points in this opening round of this 8-round championship series. Even better result for these people though. This is Michael Knight and Shannon Thickpenny, and as we told you before, Shannon absolutely brand new to this. Michael Knight in his second full season, but his first season as the driver. He was the trimmer and the ballast man for his father last year when they ran Miss Electrapar. And this, though, is the winner, and this is a history-making occasion because this is Mikey Smith and Matt Hopkins. Now, Mikey Smith, up until this time, was probably more famous for sinking his boat in Wellington in, I think, the first year of Formula Honda. Well, a lot of things have happened since then. A lot of water under the bridge, as they say, and Mikey Smith is going to take out race number 1 in the Formula Hondas. Second place will be Michael Knight in Building Solutions, and in third place it'll be Light Industries' Mike and Darren Urquhart. Fourth place will go to the Gambler, Kevin Smith and Simon Gard out of Wellington, and in fifth, Miss Electrapar, Mark Helms and Bryce Helms, also out of Auckland.
Been waiting for 3 years now, so it's pretty awesome to get up there and have a win for once. We got Chris Bartlett's old boat, and that's a lot different, but we got used to it, had a bit of practice over New Year's, and got out there today and it was perfect conditions for us. Building Solutions was right up our date for most of the race, but that'll be our main competition, and Light Industries was up there too, so it'll be an interesting season.
Second place did go to Building Solutions, Michael Knight and Shannon Thickpenny.
It was one of the most exciting things I've ever done in my life. I was scared stiff at the start, and as soon as that green flag went up, all the fear just went away, and it was just all on, go! It was great.
It sounds like you in your first season, Mike.
Yeah, pretty much. I know exactly where he was coming from, but also know that when the flag goes down, it's just we get into business. We don't need to practice, so we're pretty comfortable. This boat has performs brilliantly in the flat, so the flatter it got, the better we went, I feel. We owe a lot to Building Solutions, Tony Coleman. They've obviously given me this opportunity, which is amazing. It's like I've dreamed about this since I was a small boy, so yeah, I'm still a small boy, but no, it's just awesome, eh? Can't say enough about it.
Thanks to Hannah and Gordon from Legwork for the Formula Honda, and Denise and Paul Stewart, plus the Telesport crew for the GP Hydros and the bikes. See you next week on Retro Motorsport.
You'd have to say as we're back on board with the circuit here at Pyra. Here's the race leaders. There are all sorts of problems.
Oh, big carnage. Oh, straight to the barriers.